I came across a bunch of photos on my camera recording the process in removing the track frame off the cat last spring, and Luna has suggested that we make some sort of a little bit of a slideshow to present how that was done. This is a shot of the cat that's actually blocked up in the rear and at the front at the radiator. The track frame has been removed, and it's just up on the end of the tracks there, just out of the camera shot, but you can see that it's been extracted. Main spring is still in place, and tracks are still directly below where the frame was sitting. You can also see that the head has been removed off the block of the engine, and currently at this time I'm attempting to free up number 1 and 2 pistons, of which I did eventually get freed up. This is the track frame that's been pulled ahead just off of the chains, and sitting on the ground. The front idler has been removed. The very front top roller has been removed, and if you can look close, you can see that the tip of the diagonal brace where it bolts to the dead shaft has been tacked in place prior to doing any removal of the track frame. Here the frame has been rolled over upside down, and all of the rollers and the roller guards have been removed. All the roller bolts come out because they're grade 8 and fine thread, but all the guard bolts were broke off, rusted in, because they were grade 5 and coarse thread. As you can see, the tip of that diagonal brace has been tacked on the bottom as well. It looks a pretty ugly scar there, where it's been put back together, but this thing has been broke and welded once, and I believe it was done on the machine, so it wasn't a very good job. And then of course it failed again, and it tore through all the patchwork that was done, so it left it looking quite ugly. This has been cleaned up as best as we could get it, and tacked in several places, and looks like it's ready to weld. I had my buddy there, Dan, the professional welder. He's a pretty outstanding welder, fabricator. He come in and welded that all up, all that scarring material. It made it look pretty good, and I believe it's going to be really solid. Here we are. We got all of the rollers in place. I just reused the roller bolts. They're I just cleaned them up. They're in good shape, but the other bolts that hold the track roller guard on are going to have new bolts put in. Here the track frame has been placed upside right again, and as you can see, the that little wear plate has been replaced, and the original wear plate was worn out so badly that the mainspring, you can see, was wearing right into the track frame. Here I'm moving this track frame into place there, and to do so I used that little 1010 John Deere in the background there, and I just straddled it over top of it, tied the frame to the bucket, and just drove it ahead and pushed it right back onto the rails. Here the whole track frame is actually on the rails, and I'm going to push it right back into place so it goes around and in and around that sprocket. And then from there I'll just push in the tracks, and everything is one unit, and it should line up with the main spring, and the diagonal brace will line up with the dead shaft underneath there, and we'll just bolt her right in place. Here the track frame is completely in place there. The front end has been jacked down, so the spring is sitting on that wear plate. The rear is not quite off the blocks yet, but I've got the bolts holding the outer sprocket carrier assembly bolted straight down to the track frame. You'll note that that sprocket is in really bad shape because it was operated with a broken diagonal brace there for a while. So it wore that sprocket out on the sides. Also, you'll note on top of the block on number 1 and 2 piston area, I do have a stack of sockets bolted down on top of the liner, both liners, to hold it in place because I've got that engine freed up at this point, and I'm rolling it around with a crowbar and cleaning out the cylinders, honing it out and washing out the cylinders, and it's looking pretty good, like she's rolling free now. So it's going to be a matter of just getting that head back on and see what happens. Here I'm missing quite a few photos there in between then and now, but the head, I got a new head gasket. I put that head on there, got all that back together, got the track chain pinned back together, the upper track roller been installed, so on and so forth. Everything is put back together. The cat did start up and went ahead, put the blade on, and I got this here Kenworth seat there I managed to put back in place instead of the old rat infested cat seat. I took that out. It was pretty much all down to the spring. So here I got the Kenworth seat in there, and that's a picture of one of its first bushes up there on my neighbor's place where he's building his leveling out his buildings. Luna wants to thank you all for stopping by to take a look at the work done last spring on the track frame of the D6, and this spring we're going to get ready to do the other side. It won't be near as labor intensive because I think there's only 2 rollers that need to be replaced, and we don't have to weld up anything or overhaul the engine or whatnot, so it should be a little bit easier to do. So we're going to try to film all that, make a video of all that, and present that later. All right, bye for now.